What if I told you that one of the biggest emotional moments of Rush's 50-something tour happened where almost nobody saw it? Not under the arena lights, but behind a closed backstage door. According to rumors spreading across social media, Anika Nilles broke down in tears after one of the tour's biggest shows. But was it because she made mistakes? Was it because the fans rejected her? Or was the pressure of carrying Neil Peart's legacy simply too much? Here's what we actually know. From the moment Rush announced that Anika Nilles would sit behind the drum kit, she faced one of the hardest jobs in rock history. She wasn't just joining another legendary band. She was stepping into the place once occupied by Neil Peart, a drummer many fans consider completely irreplaceable. Even Geddy Lee and Lifeson admitted that choosing someone to fill that role wasn't an easy decision. And Anika herself arrived knowing exactly how enormous the expectations would be. Then came the opening shows in Los Angeles. Millions of eyes weren't just watching Rush. They were watching every move Anika made, every drum fill, every transition, every note that Neil Peart had made famous decades earlier. The pressure became obvious almost immediately. During the opening performance, Anika accidentally dropped a drumstick in the middle of Xanadu. For many musicians, that kind of mistake could trigger panic. But instead of freezing, she recovered instantly without losing the song, earning respect from fans and fellow drummers alike. It became one of the most talked about moments of the night, not because of the mistake itself, but because of how professionally she handled it. What most people didn't realize was that this was only the beginning of an emotional journey that would become even more intense as the tour moved closer to Rush's hometown crowd in Toronto. If Los Angeles was a massive test, Toronto was something else entirely. This wasn't just another stop on the tour. Toronto is Rush's hometown. Many people in the audience had followed Geddy Lee, Lifeson, and Neil Peart for decades. Some had seen Rush perform live multiple times over the years. These weren't casual concertgoers. They knew every drum pattern, every fill, and every tiny detail of Neil Peart's performances. For Anika Nilles, that reality added another layer of pressure. She has never claimed she wanted to replace Neil Peart. In interviews before the tour, she explained that her goal was to honor the music while remaining true to herself as a drummer. Geddy Lee and Lifeson echoed that message, making it clear they were not looking for a copy of Neil, but someone who could respectfully bring the songs to life. Their choice of Anika reflected her technical ability, musical creativity, and professionalism, not an attempt to recreate the impossible. Still, the internet can be unforgiving. After every show, social media filled with side-by-side comparisons. Some fans praised Anika's precision and musical feel. Others insisted no one should ever play Neil's parts except Neil himself. Every performance was analyzed in slow motion. Every fill sparked debate. Even moments that most audiences would never notice became talking points online. For any musician, that level of scrutiny would be exhausting. Whether you're performing perfectly or making small adjustments from night to night, knowing that thousands of people are dissecting every second of your performance creates a mental burden that few artists ever experience. And according to people who have worked with touring musicians, it's often after the show, not during it, that the emotions finally catch up. That helps explain why stories of an emotional backstage moment gained so much attention. But before accepting those stories as fact, it's important to separate verified information from internet speculation, because the truth is more complicated than many headlines suggest. This is where the story takes an important turn. Despite countless posts and videos claiming that Anika Nilles broke down in tears backstage after the Toronto or Los Angeles shows, there is no verified evidence that such an incident actually happened. No credible news outlet has reported it. Neither Anika, Geddy Lee, Lifeson, nor anyone officially connected to the tour has confirmed it. So why did the rumor spread so quickly? Part of the answer is simple. People saw the pressure she was under and filled in the blanks. Fans watched her face after difficult songs, noticed emotional moments during curtain calls, and saw how seriously she approached every performance. In today's social media world, a brief expression or a quiet backstage walk can quickly become a dramatic headline. What is documented is that Anika has spoken openly in the past about the emotional side of being a professional musician. She has described how much preparation goes into every performance and how deeply she cares about delivering her best. Fellow musicians also know her as someone who sets incredibly high standards for herself. That perfectionist mindset can be both a gift and a challenge. When you're playing music that millions of fans know by heart, good enough rarely feels good enough. Every show becomes another opportunity to improve, another chance to earn the trust of fans who grew up watching one of the greatest drummers in rock history. Fortunately, Anika wasn't facing that challenge alone. Throughout the tour, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson consistently showed confidence in her abilities. Their support wasn't just about choosing a drummer, it was about creating an environment where she could succeed without trying to become someone she could never be. And as the tour continued, something unexpected began to happen. Many of the fans who were the most skeptical at first slowly started changing their minds, but not for the reason you might expect. Up, up, up. As the tour went on, the conversation slowly began to change. At first, many fans focused on what Anika Nilles wasn't. She wasn't Neil Peart, and she never pretended to be. But after seeing multiple performances, more people started paying attention to what she was, an exceptionally skilled drummer with her own musical voice and a deep respect for Rush's catalog. Professional musicians were especially quick to notice. Instead of trying to imitate every movement Neil made behind the kit, Anika concentrated on preserving the feel, dynamics, and complexity of the songs. That approach reflected the vision Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson had described from the beginning. They weren't looking for someone to recreate the past. They wanted someone who could help celebrate it while keeping the performances alive. Fans also began sharing videos of moments that highlighted her musicianship, rather than comparing every fill to Neil's originals. Comments that had once been dominated by criticism gradually included praise for her consistency, composure, and ability to handle one of the most demanding drum catalogs in rock history. That didn't mean the criticism disappeared. Every night still came with enormous expectations. There were always people ready to debate a tempo, a fill, or a subtle change in interpretation. But Anika kept walking on stage, giving everything she had and letting the music speak louder than the noise online. Sometimes that's what courage looks like, not the absence of pressure, but the decision to perform despite it. Whether or not the backstage rumor was ever true, one fact is impossible to ignore. Carrying the legacy of Neil Peart before thousands of devoted Rush fans is an emotional challenge few drummers would willingly accept. And perhaps that's why the final chapter of this story says more about Rush's future and Anika's place in it than any rumor ever could. By this point in the tour, many fans had stopped asking, "Can anyone replace Neil Peart?" Instead, they were asking a different question. How do you honor someone who can never truly be replaced? That shift in perspective changed everything. Neil Peart's legacy was never just about playing incredibly fast or mastering complex time signatures. It was about discipline, creativity, and constantly pushing the boundaries of what rock drumming could be. Those qualities inspired generations of musicians, including Anika Nilles. Long before joining Rush, Anika had already earned worldwide respect through her original compositions, educational videos, and performances. She built her reputation by developing her own style, not by copying someone else's. That's one of the reasons Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson believed she was the right person for this moment. They wanted a drummer with the confidence to be authentic while treating Rush's music with the care it deserves. As more concerts passed, many longtime fans noticed that something special was happening. The audience wasn't just applauding technical skill, they were responding to commitment. Night after night, Anika approached the songs with focus, humility, and genuine respect for the band's history. She wasn't trying to erase Neil's legacy. If anything, every performance reminded fans just how extraordinary his contributions were. In the end, that's what great tribute performances often accomplish. They don't replace the original artist, they encourage people to appreciate that artist even more. Whether the rumor of tears backstage was true or not, one thing is clear: the emotional weight of this role is real. Every performance carries the expectations of millions of fans, decades of memories, and one of the greatest legacies in rock history. And in the final part of this story, we'll look at what this journey says about Rush's future and why Anika Nilles may have already achieved something far more important than winning over critics. So, did Anika Nilles really break down in tears backstage after the Toronto or Los Angeles show? Based on all publicly available, credible information, the answer is that there is no verified evidence that she did. No official statement, no first-hand account from the band, and no reliable news report has confirmed the story. But that doesn't make the emotional side of this journey any less real. Imagine accepting a role where every performance is measured against one of the most respected drummers in music history. Every show is filmed, every note is analyzed, every small mistake is replayed online. For most musicians, that level of attention would be overwhelming. Yet Anika continued to do what professionals do best. She prepared, walked on stage, and gave everything she had to the music. That's why many fans have come to admire her, not because she's trying to become the next Neil Peart, but because she understands that no one ever could. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson have made it clear throughout this new chapter that the goal isn't to rewrite Rush's history. It's to celebrate the songs they created together, while acknowledging that Neil's influence remains at the heart of every performance. His spirit lives on through the music, the fans, and the musicians who approach his work with respect rather than imitation. Perhaps that's the biggest lesson from this story. Sometimes the most powerful rumors spread because they reflect something people already believe. Fans knew Anika was under immense pressure, so the idea of an emotional backstage moment felt believable, even without proof. The real story, however, isn't about a rumor. It's about resilience. It's about a drummer who accepted one of the toughest jobs in rock music, faced endless comparisons, handled criticism with professionalism, and kept showing up night after night. Whether you were skeptical at first or supported her from day one, that kind of dedication deserves respect. What do you think? Has Anika Nilles earned her place in this new chapter of Rush's legacy, or do you believe Neil Peart's role should have remained untouched? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories about Rush and the legends who continue to shape rock history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.